In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Endor capture Luke Skywalker for the Vintage Collection, and he's VC23. So this particular Luke Skywalker and TVC action figure in general, I think might hold the record for most amount of releases in the TVC line. I'm sure there's a few other competing ones as well, but the point being is this action figure has had a lot of releases. The action figure you're looking at here is one of the original ones. This was one that did eventually get the photoreal treatment, and I'll explain the story behind that here in a bit. So the very first release of this, as I said, is VC23, so pretty early on in the line. And this was on the original Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker card that we see on Jabba's palace as he uses the Force to take the blaster from, what was it, the Gamorrean Guard, I think. Well, obviously, this being an Endor capture Luke, that doesn't really fit the image on the card there. So Hasbro did a running change of that. And then we ended up getting a more accurate image of him during the Endor capture, where he's in the binders there. And, of course, Darth Vader ends up taking him to the Death Star 2 to confront the Emperor. Then, that particular card got a re-release yet again, as with the Revenge of the Jedi logo, and that was part of the Death Star 2 set from San Diego Comic-Con. Very expensive set to get a hold of. In fact, it might be one of the most expensive items in the entirety of the TVC line as of this date. Then fast forward to those first three releases, I think were around 2010, 11. Then we fast forward to 2019, and then we got yet another release of this action figure, but this time with the photoreal face. But this action figure you're looking at here is the original with the painted face, which I think looks far better than the photoreal. So I got this action figure from Tongori around March, April 2019, and at that time is when the Endor Capture Luke was getting the re-release with the photoreal. And at first I was on board with it. I thought, oh great, I can finally add this action figure in my collection. Personally, I think this is one of the best Lukes, and up to that point, it's one I've been wanting to get in my collection for a long time now. And then I saw the photoreal treatment on it, and I was very disappointed by it. And that's mostly because his lips on the photoreal face look very pink, almost to the point like he's wearing lipstick. And the overall skin tone and just the way the eyes look, it did not look very good to me at all. And because of that, I thought, I'll go ahead and, at this point, Tongori already had this Luke in stock. So I thought I would rather get the one with the original painted face, and I'm glad I did. I think it's one of the best Luke head sculpts we've ever gotten from Hasbro. It's definitely in the top 5, I would say that. But yeah, very long history with this action figure. Lots of releases. And, yeah, let's just take a closer look at him. Like I said, I think this is one of the best Luke head sculpts we've gotten. It looks pretty close to Mark Hamill, about as close as it can get. I don't think Hasbro's ever gotten a 100% close likeness to most of the original trilogy characters. But even if we're about 80% there, I think that's good enough. And I think this action figure captures that as best as possible. And I think this may have been one of the first Luke Skywalkers, and maybe the original actually, that utilizes this particular Luke body. We've seen it on so many other Luke action figures since then, like the lightsaber construction Luke, which I'll be taking a look at here soon. And there's also the Jedi Destiny 3-pack, Return of the Jedi Luke, that basically utilizes a lot of these parts. And I know there's a few others as well, like the Mandalorian Light Cruiser Luke. So this is before his duel with Darth Vader, where he has the torn up tunic here. Occasionally I do see that idea passed around in the TVC community that if, at this point, most people are looped out, But if another Luke Skywalker was to be made, a lot of people advocate for that particular one to be made. And quite frankly, they could reutilize most of this tooling. All they have to do is just resculpt the front of his tunic here a little bit, and then maybe a new head. But for his alpha here, it's all black. It's has a little bit of a shine to it, or a little bit of a gloss. Looks pretty good. He does have the glove tan. And the silver belt buckle there, pouch here. And a little bit of a glossy black boots. Articulation's pretty good. He does have a ball joint to head, and hinge shoulders, elbows, hinge wrists, and both of them go up and down. Swivel waist, and then hinge tips, which back in 2010 and 11, this was kind of a big deal. And hinge knees and hinge ankles. And definitely that painted face, I think, looks far better. Kind of a neutral expression on him. Something a little more reserved, a little more in control of his situation. In terms of accessories, he does have the ignited green lightsaber he uses in Return of the Jedi, which is a very nice green blade. You can tell it looks a little bit off where I think this particular lightsaber that Luke made, the crystal was not very stable, or it was like a electronic sword, which is a little bit different from a regular lightsaber. And I think this green beam here kind of captures that a little bit and gives it a little bit more character. And it looks really good with his black outfit. Yeah, it looks really nice. Colors blend in pretty good together. Of course, he does have the unignited hilt, which does attach to his belt. That's something else too, is I think there were some variants of this Luke where some did not have the hole on his belt and some did. Fortunately, mine is one that does. It just plugs in securely there. Then we did get the binders that he's wearing as he is captured on Endor. And it is a little bit different how you put it on him. As you can see, it's basically 90 degrees from one another for each wrist. And there is a little bit of gap there. Give it some flex to fit around his wrist. And that's about how you usually have to put it together on him. Looks pretty good if you want to make an indoor display, particularly this scene. It's a part that will greatly enhance that. But that's pretty much all I can tell you about this Luke. We will do some comparisons here. So alongside an important character to him, there's Vader himself. Can reenact their scene as they're approaching the Emperor. And here he is with the correct Jedi Knight Luke from Jabba's palace. Yeah, you can see some of the tooling is reutilized here, like the legs and the arms primarily. And kind of a sneak preview to what's next, the lightsaber construction Luke, which might be my personal favorite 3 3/4 inch Luke in my collection. Talk about that in the video for this. And just one more since he's here, Luke Skywalker portrait that might arguably be the best one, the Yavin Ceremony Luke. And both these portraits are really good. They look pretty close. Well, that's about all I can really tell you about this Luke Skywalker action figure. So would I recommend them for your collection? If you were to only pick one Luke for your collection, I don't think you would go wrong with having this one. As far as price is concerned, I don't think the re-release is too much, and the original, since the market's been kind of saturated with more of these Endor capture Lukes, it might be a lot less now compared to what it was about 10 years ago. So if you really want just one particular Luke for your collection and you want the best of the best one, this one's definitely a great contender for you. It's arguable if it is the best Luke that Hasbro has made in 3 3/4 scale from Return of the Jedi. But I don't think many people would argue with you if you did say it was the best one. It's really good. Portrait's very good. Looks about as close to Mark Hamill as we can get. And I'm happy it's part of my collection. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There will always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support, and check out some links in the description if you haven't done so already. Of course, as always, thanks for watching.